14 points alongside Tiff Mitchell with 14, 15 for Sammy Whitcomb, 11 for Lauren Scherf. Mitchell and George. George loves that spot.
Nice to see her having a valid or a great contribution in the first half and obviously to start the third quarter as well.
Boomers up by 7. Bibby off to Whitcomb. Lynx need it and Sammy provides it. Tiff really getting busy in the second term. Cleans up her own board.
Blow by paint touch and blow by layups that Melbourne were getting late in that second quarter.
Thanks, Megan. Chloe responds. Talk about what Ryan Petrick can do and what he's learnt in the first half in just a moment with Jenny Screen. Wallace again tries to take it to the rack. Nelson Adoda.
She's going to be a shot blocker, that's for sure.
Ryan harassed by 3. That leaves Scherf open at the three-point line and she drains it.
And important but tough. That was a long, long hand of Adoda coming out and stretched out, and Scherf just finding the bottom of the net.
Is this team going to be more of what Guy had last year, or is it going to be more of what Chris will bring? Ultimately, they'll bend to Chris's will, but he's had a half to have a look and see, and Christy Wallace is at the heart of everything. She's up to 17 points. Mitchell's had 16. To Kayla. There's a bounce pass through to Mitchell, and that's how you execute. Boomers on a roll right now. From late in that second term, they scored the last 7 points of the second quarter, and they've come out and they've scored 13 points to 8 to start the third. George will go herself, and she adds another 2.
Obviously no Young and no Bakery anymore. She's got to take these opportunities where she can.
George can't finish. Whitcomb to Sharp. Takes on Nelson Adoda, a nice reversal.
Beautiful, actually, considering she wasn't, I can't speak more highly about Christy Wallace, but on obviously the defensive end.
Here's Christy, late in the shot clock. George from her favourite position, not this time. Ball still alive for Kayla. Murray sets the feet and drains the 3.
Something we've seen her do in Townsville for many, many years. Second chance opportunities like this one here, it just goes whack.
Lead by 15. 4 minutes left in the third. Nice inbound ball to Whitcomb for an easy 2. To Adoda, to Wallace, to Mitchell. Takes on Whitcomb and finishes. Sharp, open for 3 and nails it. Big turnaround there.
I got 2 of my backcourt girls in Lily Scanlon and Tess Madgen, who we know is an Opal, injured. I'd be pretty excited with what I've got on the court right now.
Sammy Whitcomb fighting to keep her team in it. She's up to 22 points. The Boomers scored the last 7 points of the second term. Can the Lynx get on a roll here? Gandini to Whitcomb. Matched up with Brewster. Steps back, gives herself some space and drains another 3. So Whitcomb, 25 points. Looks to add to it here. Takes on Brewster. Like the matchup, adds another 2.
She's going to put the Perth Lynx on her shoulders many a game in the Cygnett WNBL.
Wallace gets rid of Gandini, and that's a big response. The Lynx closed to 7. 22 seconds left in the half. In the quarter, rather. Whitcomb. Bibby for 3. Big 3. 15 seconds to play in the quarter. Mitchell. Final play here for the Boomers. Feels like an important one. 3 seconds left on the clock, and Tiff makes it. Take her up to 27 for the game. She put the team on her back in the third. Kept them in the game. Bibby. Ryan. Inside to Scherf. Draws a crowd. Bibby open. Ryan to Scherf. Down goes Wallace. Play continues. Scherf makes 2. Back to Wallace. Tiff to George. Through Murray. Inside. Nelson Adoda. Nicely worked by the Boomers. An important 2-point.
We find a miscommunication somewhere in there and a nice bucket for the Melbourne Boomers.
Wallace hits the floor again. Atwell's open. She's starting to heat up. Amy Atwell. Atwell for company. Nelson Adoda. Mitchell. Pressure coming from the Lynx. Boomers work their way through it. George from the corner is money. The Boomers get another opportunity. Wallace says, just calm it down. Let's set ourselves here. Important trip down the floor. And George with the captain's bucket. Considering her options here. Little dish off to Wallace. Receives it back. Now feeds Murray. And the veteran, as we've seen so many times before, comes up with the big bucket in the big moment.
There's no expectation on Mia Murray just to come in and do what the little things that she does well. Run the floor, slash cut, and hit those threes, girl. Yes! On cue. Thank you very much. Great job, Mia Murray.
Whitcomb receives back, goes herself, and misses an easy layup by her standards. Now Wallace to push the pace, as she so often does. Gets to a position she likes and hits the two.
Is the Melbourne Boomers and the Perth Lynx.
Mitchell, Murray, George to Wallace. Here's Nelson Adoda. Back to Mitchell. Two more for Tiff. She's up to 26. It was Sammy Whitcomb who did the damage in the third quarter rather. Great hands there from Mitchell. Cuts off the Scherf pass. Whitcomb commits. And Mitchell lays in another two. Whitcomb with 27. Throw in 24 from Christy Wallace. And 19 from Kayla George. And the Stars have been shining tonight. And Sammy's the first to 30. 1:50 left on the clock. Wallace. Mitchell. Again, takes it to the rack. And tips up to 32.
She's going to be stellar this season and a potential for MVP. I called it last year, as we see. Youngster.
Taya Burrows lays into rehabbing. She's really exciting. Ryan Petrick looks at her as a potential point guard of the future for this team. So great to see her out there getting a couple of minutes and some points as George lays in two more. Davidson. Here's Desiree Kelly. Get the two to drop. This is Paige Burrows. And it's a first up win for Chris Lucas at his new club.